No, right? Start off our first one of 2018. Hello.
Is this the first one?
Yes. Yeah, it is. I know. Crazy.
Hello.
Wave to everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first 2018. We've got great excuses why we haven't been on over the last few weeks, but we're back. And now this is our first ever Talk to Me Dirty.
No, talk dirty to me. Talk to me dirty.
Talk Dirty to Me, which was formerly, obviously, Mind of the Founder. And we've changed it for a few years. We've been looking for a new name for a while because when we started this, it was just myself doing this. It was before the girlfriend had joined on. And so the idea was to get in not just my head, well, so you guys could ask questions to us or to me at the time and answer about the good, the bad, the ugly of the business and of business in general. And because a lot of people think that, when we do these or business is all glamorous and stuff, it's not. It's very hard. So that was a purpose. And then we called it Mind of the Founder because we wanted to eventually, or we're going to eventually grow this to where we bring in other founders and other business owners. So you guys as guests and stuff. And then once the girlfriend came on, we both wanted to change it because it's not just a founder now, it's two partners and this and that. So after a lot of names and putting it around, it came up with Talk Dirty to Me.
Which we came up with during brunch today.
Yeah, during brunch today.
That's why you thought it was Talk Me Dirty.
We haven't talk to me dirty.
Talk to me dirty. It's a whole the whole like play on words thing, besides the common phrase talk dirty to me, it's supposed to be like talk dirty to me about all the nitty gritty of running a business, not just the glamorous side, not all the victory stories, but like the struggle and the daily struggle and all the what they call the unsexy things about business that people don't want to talk about, but are actually some of the most important things about business. Yeah. So talk dirty to me.
And everybody usually likes everybody likes saying all the good shit about business. Oh, how's business going? We're fucking crushing it. We're doing this and that. And my answer is always cash flow's a bitch. The actual stuff of what's going on. Talk dirty to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's tongue in cheek.
It's tongue in cheek. So I hope you guys are having a great New Year's. We haven't been on in a few weeks, or this is our first time in 2018.
I didn't realize you had done.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things going on right now, which are no excuse because we could find time, but our head's just been in other places, and we want to make sure when we come on here we can give you the best of everything. So yeah, do you have the questions?
I have the questions.
What else? What do you want to say? We had a food drop this past Friday.
Yeah, photos will be posted this afternoon, hopefully. I'll get around to it with video.
We're not getting around to that this afternoon with all the other stuff we have.
Tomorrow.
I'm just trying to be legit.
I just want to get them up and running. Well, stay tuned tomorrow for sure.
I'm just kidding. I hope you get it
There'll be photos and a video, our Instagram video. So you'll get to see the whole process from grocery shopping to the actual food drop itself. And otherwise it's
yes. Well, she's like so many unsexy things in the fashion industry. Yes, in every
industry is unsexy.
The fashion industry.
It's very disappointing for me.
Very disappointing for you?
Yeah.
What?
Because it's supposed to. Well, I knew like years ago because I did do an internship in the fashion industry for the showroom, and I've been like styling, and that was when I got my first taste. But now I'm in it. I'm like, man, this is like. It's not ugly. A glamorous industry at all. It's like a lot of like grubby work, and a lot of like the grubbiest part of town actually is the fashion industry. Yeah. In LA, it's not like really hot, attractive people walking around and like.
There is in certain areas.
In certain areas.
When you go to the shows.
But when you go to the raw materials part of the industry.
The actual business side.
Yeah, like the printing, the materials, and all that stuff. That's the that's where like I guess the soul is, where the people are doing stuff from ground zero. That's the gritty part.
Yeah, and it's also like, not talking shit, but there's so much ego in this business or in this industry, specifically, and I'm sure there are a lot
like Cool Hunt LA tomorrow.
I think there are in every, businesses. Ego, I say it all the time. Ego will kill a business. It just seems like in this business, or this industry, there's so much more ego.
Drama queens.
Drama.
Like male drama queens. Like, to me, I'm just like, really? Guys?
It kills
really.
Me. And this is the thing. I love this industry. I don't know why. I'm a glutton for punishment.
I like to stick in my lane in this industry, which is marketing.
Yeah. I wish I could just do one thing. But it's good. But that's the thing. We're talking dirty to you because everybody thinks, oh, fashion, fuck that, dude. Fashion's nasty. It's dirty. It's ugly. So, Leslie. Hi, Leslie.
So
I love you guys.
Awkward right now. I'll see you later for karaoke, Leslie.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's jump into question 1. And so what we did, we went through and picked some questions from 2017 that you guys had asked us, and because I don't remember the answers, and we didn't go through and look at it, and
we should after this, just for fun.
Yeah.
What's Cool Hunt thing? I was in the fashion industry for a few years, and it's a dirt business.
It's a dirt business. It is.
True.
It is.
I do like you guys' organization, though. Cool Hunt LA.
Thank you. Yes, I've heard Cool Hunt LA.
They're really cool.
Yeah, it's gross. But anyway, we went through and picked out some of the questions and that you guys had asked from last year that we answered, and we're going to answer them as well and just see how different our mindset is now than it was then. And I don't remember. I'll probably maybe remember the answers. But I think I always say in business, what you're doing now, you're going to look back 6 months from now and be like, oh my God, I really thought that was a big deal. I thought that mattered, or, whoa, what the hell was I thinking then? And, just as like right now, you look back 6 months ago and say that, and, look back a year. So it's even 3 months, I feel I'm growing personally and business-wise and learning things every day. That's what's exciting about business, is that you've got to figure the shit out. There's nobody there, right? Like, there's something that we've never experienced, and we're having a lot of first right now. And when I say a lot of first, those of you who don't know what I mean, we're having a lot of things happen for the first time. And that's what happens when you're growing a business. Because as you grow, you're obviously experiencing things that you've never experienced, and it's really, really fucking scary because you don't want to do the wrong thing. And the bigger you grow and the more you grow, those decisions that you're having to make become more and more difficult because they've got more and more money involved. Typically, that's how it goes, right? You've got more to lose the bigger you are, right? When you first start, if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You just go in and do it again, unless you invest a lot in on that, which I wouldn't suggest doing, right? Grow gradually and small or slowly, not so rapidly, to limit your risk. But so we're having a lot of firsts now, and I've been growing a lot, and you learn things every day. I think that's what I was getting around to, is business exciting.
Tangent.
Tangent. I do it all the time. Sorry. ADD.
Yeah, I kind of forgot.
No, I was just saying, like, we want to look back at what we were saying 6 months ago, a year ago, whenever these questions came from.
Okay.
See? Now, but at least I remember.
Yeah,
at least I remember.
Getting better.
So getting better. Getting better.
Stick to the point.
My therapist should be happy. All right. So, all right, yeah. Question 1. And remember, you can submit your questions through ask at FBNW, comment, whatever the hell you want to do.
If you leave a comment, we don't get that to it right away, then we'll get to it next week.
Yes, Melise says, don't work in fashion unless you're absolutely in love with it and obsessed with it. And I would
And you have no other options.
I would second that. No, you've always got other options. I would definitely second that. And that's what I'm saying. I love this industry, but I hate it. I don't know why I love it so much. I think it's probably because it's all I know, right? Yeah. Fear is the lack of knowledge, the unknown. Mm-hmm. And since I've done it for so long, it's just I'm more comfortable with it. And I take all the shit with it. So there's shit in anything you do, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, first question. What's the hardest thing about what you do on a macro level and on a daily basis, micro level?
Hardest thing about what I do. Do you want to go first?
I'm thinking.
Or you want me to go first? I can say, I just kind of said I'll go first since I.
Yeah, let me think about it.
On the macro level, it's what I just said. It's the decisions, right? It's for me personally, I have a lot of self-doubt that I'm working with my therapist. I'm just happy that I'm going to a therapist now. That's why I'm telling you guys. But not like anything's wrong with me, but now I'm finding out there is some stuff wrong.
Well, everyone has a little thing.
Everybody got something wrong with them. I'm just trying to be proactive and so I got self-doubt. So the hardest thing for me is, once again, these decisions and going through these the first time. A lot of these first, and some of them are pretty important things, and it's difficult. I get scared of making the wrong decision, which will hold you back if you don't jump on it and just eat it and own it. And so I think the hardest thing is about just not knowing what is the right thing, right? You don't know until it's over and done with. When you look back and say, like, 6 months ago, a certain decision I made at that time could have been really scary because it could have went one of two ways. Could have went a million ways, but for ease of the conversation, it could have turned out good and could turn out bad. 6 months later, you look back and you can see how that decision played out. But at that time, you don't know. And you don't know until it's done. And then once it's done, it either worked or it didn't work. But you don't know for months, And so I think that's one of the hardest things, just not knowing what's the right way and what's the wrong way. And I don't think there is just right and just wrong. It's just the way that won't kill you or take you out of business. I think that's one of my macro. Go ahead on yours.
I think my macro would be going through with everything, not knowing where it's going, because I've been so used to working for other companies, right? I was always an employee. I was never like my own boss/owner. So like for me, there's so much risk involved in starting your own business, and I'm not a risk taker. So the hardest thing for me is to try to be on board as a risk taker and like be willing to run the savings account down to single digits, and be like, it's okay because next month will be fine. Or like for me, I'm just like, no, like let's do it this way. But it's gonna hold the company back if I'm always so risk adverse, because you need to take big risks for big rewards. So for a lot of things, I'm always very afraid or unsure about certain decisions because I'm like, that just sounds too risky. What's the second option that's less risky, and let's go with that. But it's me trying to like keep my mouth shut and like trusting the process, I guess. Process being you, because like I don't know how to run a business. I am now an entrepreneur, but I've always been an employee. So learning to be an entrepreneur.
Learning to think with an entrepreneur mindset. It's not, an entrepreneur is not something that you just are or you're not,
But being an entrepreneur means taking risks and not being afraid. And I'm Asian. And I calculate everything. I have a plan A, B, C. Right now we have plan A, and if plan A fails, Let's figure it out then. Let's not waste time thinking about plan B and C, because all we have right now is time to figure out plan B, plan A, because not even enough time to figure out plan A. We're just like winging it like by the seam of our pants. And I'm just like, I need savings. Like we need savings in case we're homeless.
Yeah.
And then that would suck.
And know too many people. I have a Honda Civic that I can sleep in. You have a RAV4, all four of us could fit in.
I would move in with my brother.
No, that's not happening. None of that's happening. Anyway, so yeah, on the macro. On the micro, on the day-to-day, I think it's, I struggle with, well, just trying to be the best leader when you're trying to lead different people, and we've spoken about this before. It's trying to lead the girlfriend. So having a personal relationship with someone you work so closely with, but also it's if it doesn't work, it's my fault, right? And trying to balance that, well, this is what we need to do to make it work, and trying to keep the balance. When do you cut it off and stuff? So that's probably one of my macro things. Micro me. And it actually is my macro too. But on the day-to-day with that, mixed in with that is the difference between urgent and important, right? And this is something that we talk about, we're talking about more because I'm reading more about it, and not trying to get your day-to-day, consume your day-to-day with urgent things, urgent and important. What you need to work on are important but not urgent things. Not you specifically, just people in general need to focus their time. And there's 4 quadrants. You got the urgent and important, the not urgent and important. You got the not important but urgent, and then you got the not important, not urgent. And you need to spend in quadrant 2 your not urgent and important things. Those are the things that people like you, just your personality and your work style, you don't like, because those are the things that take time, but you don't see any importance. Like, you don't see any, there's like, why are you working on that? That doesn't matter. And trying to be like, well, I know it's not urgent, but that's the things that's going to, long-term do this. And it's hard to explain that. And it's also hard to identify what is important, what isn't important, what isn't, and all of that. So on a micro level, I struggle with that stuff.
Micro level, I think I'm still struggling with my position and how it plays in with the team. So I oversee marketing, right? And our team of interns, but I'm also partner, and I think I'm still in employee mode. So a lot of times, like, if I'm unsure about something, I need to ask you, but at the same time, I don't want to bug you. So I'm just kind of like, well, okay, I'll just keep myself busy finishing this thing off, and then I'll ask him when he gets a moment. But you never have a moment, and then I just don't want to like bother you or Tyler or Diana or whatever. And I need to get into the mindset, like, I'm a partner, and I need to be like more accountable and more proactive and aggressive with the things I need and want from people, as opposed to like, I'll ask them when they have time. Oh, they seem busy, I don't want to bother them. And it's like, it only slows me down in the long run, but I care so much about what people are doing or thinking or feeling that it prevents me from getting my own stuff done.
Which are good traits, but it's a balance, right? Everything's a balance. And I hear exactly what you're saying with that. But that's a part of me being a better leader too. It's just empowering, my team to be able to, feel that even if they make a decision, to make a mistake. And it's like, I love mistakes. We know that. So,
I know.
Those are good. But yeah, you do also, you feel good. You get in your zone and just go for it.
Yeah, I like to do things as soon as I think of it. And that's kind of your whole important and urgent thing. It's like everything is urgent.
Everything's urgent.
It's like, get it done now, and then by the end of the day I've done everything, and it's like, okay, so the next day I have a fresh day to do a lot more other things. as opposed to, I don't like to space things out. I like to complete projects within that day. I don't like to work on a project over a few days. That's my issue.
Yeah. And then I like to think about things, like talk things over.
And I'm just like, let's get it done and move on to the next thing. And you're more of like, let's like marinate on this thing for a few days. I'm like, no, I want to move on to the next thing. And let's go back to it later, but let's finish it and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah. So I don't know how it would have changed. I know back in the day I wouldn't have had those same answers, but I don't know what we said before.
I think this was a question before.
This is before you, yeah.
So yeah.
All right, well, let's move on.
Next question. What's your most favorite thing about what you do? I need to think about that.
After all that shit talking we just had, what's the favorite thing we do? Mine's easy. I love what's great about when it's your company, right, is it's being able to, it's the pressure of knowing that it's all up to you to dream it up and see the vision and then execute it, right? And while that's one of the harder things, that's what excites me, knowing that there's no limit on what we're doing. And I think it's only if we, in my head, that if I don't think outside of the box, we're going to stay in the box. And I just love that, knowing that what Steve Jobs, look at everything around you, and it was built by somebody no smarter than you, right? And I really, it took me years to take that in and really accept, get what he really meant by that. And it means like, well, fucking I too can do something really, really big. And it's all up to me and trying to figure out a way to do it. It's not just coming up with the idea. That is like this much of it. It's actually executing it and bringing it to fruition. And to me, that is what is so exciting. And especially after you get, we're 2.5 years into the company, and being able to see the things that are playing out. And like remembering this was how I envisioned it. And some things are different and some things aren't, but seeing things grow legs from infancy, right? From just an idea and growing it. That is my favorite thing about what I do.
Seeing your idea come to life.
Seeing it come to life and seeing it impact the children and seeing where we're going with it and impacting more and more and more and more. I love it.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is the feedback that we receive from customers and fans and other companies in terms of like what we're doing, because a big part of my job is the social media, and I get emails all day, and it's an overwhelming like amount of like love and support from people. Like, this is amazing, I love what you're doing, can we work together somehow? Like, I just want to be involved. And to just hear that, like, it's people like appreciating like what we're doing for the kids, and like basically like seeing that like what we're putting out there is being seen is like rewarding to me as like in marketing. It's like, oh yeah, people actually noticing the work that we're putting out. It's not just us posting like mindlessly every day and hoping people notice. So beyond like the likes, like the comments mean so much to me, the DMs, the emails, it just keeps me like more motivated, like in the sense of like, oh yeah, like people actually are into it, they care, like it's like encouraging people and they want to work with us. So that's my favorite thing, just seeing that that feedback from people.
Yeah, I once again, I feel I completely understand that, because I can see a lot of the things that have been going on recently that we can't talk about some of them, but it's you're starting to actually see your hard work being recognized, where you, once again, you're a get it done, boom, move on thing. And where if you do that daily, and it's like, why am I not hearing this? Why am I not getting it? Mm-hmm. It starts getting, am I doing something? Is what I'm doing making a difference? Mm-hmm. And now it's good because you're starting to see and hear and getting feedback on a much more, bigger feedback. And so it's good job. I told you. Yeah, your hand's always sweaty. It feels like she keeps her hand in a bucket of water.
It's a disorder. No one knows what's wrong with me.
But no, so it's good. I'm excited. We got some great stuff, and I'm excited to
one day tell you guys.
To one day be able to tell you guys about it. So
one day.
Yeah. So congratulations for what you do and how hard you've worked and how it's all paying off. So
congratulations to me. Congratulations to us.
Us, yeah. I don't need the motivation.
I do.
It's
marketing is it's a thing that requires a lot of time and repetition, and finally all this time that we put into it is starting to pay off. And it takes time.
Was my thing? We're gonna have to spend 6 months in it deep before we start seeing it.
I was hoping for 3 months, but yeah, it's been 6 months.
That's what I said though. 6, right? And then remember, we started seeing it 4-ish, and I was like, it's come early.
Yeah.
But now we're talking the bigger stuff. We're talking the bigger stuff. 6 months. Yeah. And it's gonna just keep building. So stay hard at work. All right. Next question.
If you could go back and change anything, what would you change? It's pretty so this is a vague question. Is it life? In your life?
I can't remember how we answered it last time.
I'm going to say life because I haven't been in business for long.
Okay. Go.
I'm going to say I don't know, actually. I was like, would I change anything? I don't know. Well, I wish I could. I wish I always started earlier. I wish I had gone down this road of being an entrepreneur earlier when I had a roof over my head at my mom's and I didn't have to worry about bills. And so I just kind of to get on this track, not FBNW, but to get on the entrepreneur track where I started dabbling with my own business. In high school, I told you I tried to do my own little business. I wanted to do protein snacks because back then protein infused baked goods wasn't a thing, but I was a gym rat back then, and I was I knew guys really like protein, so I was what if I baked protein muffins or something? And I actually emailed a protein supply company for some samples, and they ended up mailing me this size tubs, 6 of them. It's here you go, play with it for free. And I was this 16-year-old kid, and I was oh, cool. And I started baking, and then it just kind of died most things because I got over it. I was bored. I was on to the next thing. So I wish my personality, I just kind of didn't get bored as easily and stick to things so I can actually see it through. So I guess that's my one thing. I wish I had been on a more entrepreneurial mindset younger so that by now I would have developed a lot more skills and knowledge to do this better. But yes, I've just always been an employee,
but I think I don't know. That's a hard it's hard for you to change that because that is who you are, and I don't think it's a bad thing that you would want to change. I think I
want to change it. I want to be I wish I was some child prodigy who started some company.
Want that? It's I'd love to be a child. I'd love to be a Mark Zuckerberg.
This is my question. I can answer however I want.
You were right with that.
Yeah. See that? So that's my answer.
And so, what if we had changed one thing?
Yeah. If you go back and change anything.
I'm going to take this from the business side, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard. I think everything that I've done has been a brick that has made it to where I am now, right? For good or bad. And so I don't think there's any like big thing that's like I would like to change, which would have made me different than what I am now. I would say that I'd like to have been smarter about certain things, or not smarter per se, but I've had a lot of business has. This is dirty. Business has caused me to lose quite a few of really good friends, and I never ever understood that when I used to hear these entrepreneurs and them talk about friendships, lost friendships, and stuff like that. I never really understood. I was like, really? Because it's just like that's hard to believe. And now that I'm deeper in, I'm over a decade in, 15 years in on entrepreneurship. I've lost quite a few friends, and I wish I'd started reading earlier, because that, I think if I had started reading earlier, like right now, what I'm reading and what I've been reading over the last going on a year and a half since I've been really, well, a little over a year since I really started reading. It's opened I think a lot of the situations I've gone through, I would have dealt with in a different way, because I would have had a different mindset. So if I'd done that, I think some of and not saying all of the,
I was going to say, I don't think all of them would have been salvaged.
Maybe not, but I think I would have dealt with them differently, regardless, because I can only control me, and it wasn't.
You would have processed them differently.
I would have processed them differently, and I would have taken, handled them differently. So, not to say it's like all my fault of what happened, right?
Yeah. I think you would have saw it coming.
I would have, and so I would have handled it differently and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, like, I say this all the time, you have to look out for yourself, and looking out for myself is putting this business first, because myself includes the family. Because if I don't make it, then we don't make it. And if we don't make it, you know what I mean? Like, our relationship's done if we're living on the street, right? Like, so I've got to make sure this is right, so we're right. And so you can't, when it comes into like, I can't not do something for business because I might lose a friend, because business has to come first. But with that said, it shouldn't have to come to that. And I think I would have handled things differently. So, yeah.
Bring that up in your next therapy session.
Yeah, bring that up my next one. I'm already talking about it.
Yeah. You ready? Move on?
Yeah. Hi, Greg. I'm going to call you today. Go ahead.
He saw a commercial. He thought of you.
Last question?
Last question, yeah. Do you and the girlfriend butt heads? Would you suggest working with your significant other?
You answer this one first.
Yes, we do. Butt heads. But that is, it's unavoidable. Even if we weren't working together, we'd butt heads. We butt heads on many things because we're very opposite people, if you can't tell. But it works out to our advantage in things, because I'm too like my way and he's very his way, but we need to more or less be a balance of us. So I think we balance each other. We butt heads, but I mean, the good thing about you and I is that we don't stay mad at each other for long at all. Like, and I think it's more so you, because you're very good at like talking me down, and then I'm just like, my good trait is that I'm pretty good at like letting things go, but it takes you to talk me down to it. Like, you're very willing to like, let's talk about it, where I'm more like, keep it inside, like, let's not talk about it and let's just forget about it. But I think talking about it helps.
Communication.
Everything, yeah.
Communication's key.
So would I suggest you working with your significant other? Think about it real hard, because I don't know, like, I mean, you and I mean, you know, as things have gotten deeper with the company, I've had more days where I'm just like, I don't know if I should stay in the company and work together, because the problem with our dynamic is that you're very like workaholic, always thinking about work, always. If not about our work, we're at Shake Shack and you're sitting there zoning out eating. I'm like, you're thinking about their business model, aren't you? You're like, yeah, they must be like killing it. I'm like, hey, turn off and like let's hang out and eat lunch. And whereas, so for me, like I get really irritated because it's like everything's about work in some shape or form. And I'm just like, we don't know where the boundaries are anymore. Like, I don't feel like I'm your girlfriend anymore. I'm just your partner. And that irritates me because it's like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I signed up to be your girlfriend and I just happen to be your partner. So it's tough. I think but when it works, it's great because you guys are in it together and you don't have to annoy your significant other when you come home and like talk to her about your business and she's just like, I don't care, like whatever. At least when you talk to me, I'm just like, yeah, there's days where I'm like, I don't care, shut up, like we've talked enough. But then overall, like I do care because it's like our business, so I'm more willing to entertain it. I think your significant other just has to be as in it as you are in the company, and you guys need to work out a system to like turn off, because I think that's important. If you don't turn off and then you just become coworkers, most likely it's not going to work, because sometimes I get irritated when he's like treating me too much like a coworker and I'm like, hello, I'm your girlfriend, stop talking to me like that. But I understand he has to sometimes. I don't know, self-awareness.
Yeah, and to that, like, you know, it's easy to get annoyed, and then it's like, well, it's really annoying if we can't pay rent. You know, like to me, that's what I always look at. So with this question, you know, obviously, yeah, we butt heads, but I think she butts heads with me more than I guess I like. It's hard to really like. I don't like butting heads with people.
Except for Tyler.
Yeah,
you guys try to wrestle.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
but on the butting heads, it's like what are we butting heads on, right? That's how I look at it. It's like I could be butting heads with my girlfriend about, you know, what are you doing tonight? Like, you know, stupid shit like that. Or if you butting heads about, you know, what's the best color for this graphic. You know what I mean? It's all like, we're not dodging bullets. We're not, you know, trying to decide if we should take chemo or radiation. Everything we're doing it's our company. So to me, I don't mind butting heads. I don't like to, but I don't mind it. And I second everything she said. And I think, you know, that's where what I would suggest is it's really looking at the principle and thinking of your principles and thinking with the end in mind. And that's kind of how I, you know, handle a lot of things with Fiona when she gets frustrated with the work and this and that. And I'm like, well, do we want to continue struggling, living like startup entrepreneurs, or do we not? And if we don't, these are the things that we have to discuss and have to handle and do. So the things that she gets upset with me about, she snaps out really quick, because we communicate.
Great thing.
In Patrick's defense, it's in our DNA. Yeah.
I heard. Greg.
Yeah. But I'm trying to grow from that. So because I am stupid stubborn in my ways, but I'm trying to grow, and I just know I don't always know best.
But also, if you had your choice, you'd be working like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until you're at a point where you're happy with where you're at. But I'm the one who kind of like holds you back in that sense. But I like to think of it as I provide balance.
Yeah, no, and I do. I think that the balance that I take, you know, for you, because you know too, when things are like this last week, you know, there's a lot of late nights and stuff like that. And you don't give me grief when you know like it's something big. And that's why sometimes I try to take a step back and I will cut it off when I know that it can wait. Even though I don't want to sometimes, I'd love to just continue. But yeah, it's a balance. And I think if you and your girlfriend or significant other, spouse, boyfriend, or whatever it is, if you guys are on the same page, it's great. And I'll say this, like, we both have the plan for her leaving the company and starting something on her own as soon as we can. Right now, like, she's very cheap help, inexpensive help.
I'm like
free,
literally
right?
free 99.
Free 99, but she's a partner in the company, which is going to be very, very good for her in the future. But it's not because I don't enjoy working with her. I love working with her. She's great. But it would give us more balance, and it would give us, more of that, which I think would make our relationship, which we have no problem. I don't have any problem with the relationship, but I think if we did this for the next 10 years, we'd want to like shoot each other. Probably if we were in FBNW together for the next 10 years. The goal is for her. She's got some ideas that she wants to start, and I'm all for that, and I can't wait for that. But that's not until we can replace her. Basically, that's what it is. When she can be replaced, it's up to her to make the decision. But like, I love working with her now, and I think it's great. But we do butt heads.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to have a strong relationship to work together.
Yeah, that's why ours works, because we have a strong relationship. Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty good. So, thing is.
Yeah, that was the last question. Anything else to add? What's going on? What do we have going on?
Tuesday, we are going to be featured on the Today Show.
Oh, yeah. Today Show.
They're doing a flash sale. So we have 2 items on flash sale. Newsletter people are going to get a heads up. But if you're not on our newsletter, you probably should sign up so you can get the newsletter tomorrow with the promo code.
And you do that. Yeah, you get the promo code through the newsletter, too. So you don't even have to go through the Today Show stuff. And we're going to be having 2 items. Mm-hmm. On a
24-hour flash
24-hour flash sale
Tuesday,
brought to you by Today Show's Deal of the Day.
Yeah. So sign up for the newsletter on the website to get that. And then
anything else? Oh yeah, Vegas. We're gonna be
at Pool.
Well, SF San Francisco peeps. Stores. We're gonna be at SF Cala this week. Starting Wednesday, I think it is. Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're going to be in Vegas at Pool
on the 12th.
On the 12th, 13th, and 14th. So make sure you come by. If any of the stores in your area is not carrying FBNW and you want them to, go tell them to check us out and to buy some stuff from us. So.
Check out our lookbook. I just uploaded it on our website, so you can like kind of see what's coming out for spring. And
we have the spring lookbook up. Yeah. FBNW.us. Go look at the lookbook.
And then go show your local stores and say, hey, check out this cute line. You should probably carry them here because I want to buy their t-shirt. It's not online, so you should probably order it.
And they do great fucking things.
That too.
Yeah. And they're going to be like, well, we have brands that give back. And be like, well, how do they give back? Because I bet this one gives back in a better way, more impactful way. Just saying.
Just show them the why video.
Just show them the why video. Yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can ask your questions. Submit them at ask@fbnw.us.
If you also want us to change the name of the show,
submit names.
Email us.
It's going to be called Talk Dirty to Me until
someone says otherwise.
And we agree that it's a better name.
Oh yeah, we're not just going to change it because you guys feel like it. No way. No way, Stoli.
No way, Stoli Bear. All right. Love you guys. Peace.
Bye.